I love that opening. Well, hello everybody. This is Starman, and welcome to the first chapter of Let's Play the Pandora Directive. Now, those of you who have been watching these Let's Play videos for a while know a little bit about this one. I mentioned a bit about it in the ending of my Under a Killing Moon Let's Play, but the Pandora Directive is probably my personal favorite of all of the Tex Murphy games. It's certainly probably the most well-regarded of the series at large. It has made several lists of the greatest adventure games of all time, and it is definitely one of the best full-motion video games of all time. And there's several reasons for it. The main ones are that they took what they learned from getting Under a Killing Moon to work, and they stepped up their game a bit. The story is a lot richer, the acting is improved across the board, and the puzzles are, well, much more challenging even in easy mode. And there's two things about this game that make it notable, apart from it being a continuation of the already groundbreaking Tex Murphy series. The first is that it was one of the first games to have a morality system that gave you different endings based upon your actions in the game. And the second reason is that it had two modes of difficulty. There was an entertainment mode that had less puzzles and less challenging puzzles, and the game player's mode, which had a lot of, oh good lord, you're going to need to buy the strategy guide to get through this puzzles. And I intend to play through this and show you all 6 of the endings. Now, it's going to say that there's 7 endings. Technically, there are 6 endings, but you can get to one of them a different way. So, with no further ado, let's go ahead and get started on this. I'm going to go ahead and save this one as Matt. Okay, now here's the question. Do you wish to play entertainment level or game player's level? We recommend that everybody except the experienced game players select entertainment the first time through. Oh yes, the hint system is available on entertainment level. Game players, you're out of luck. But game players give a chance to get 4,000 points instead of 1,500 points. In addition, bonus puzzles and locations. We're going to go ahead and do game player this first time around, so that next time when I'm going through and wanting to play through it faster, I can take the easy way out. Okay, the story can move along 3 different paths to a total of 7 combined endings. 6.5, really. Okay, Mission Street, be thoughtful, kind, and choose the high road. Lombard Street, stay neutral and perhaps a little naive. Boulevard of Broken Dreams, be antagonistic and selfish. A tutorial of how to use the virtual world engine is available in the help system. To see the tutorial, click on the question mark on the main console, and then the tutorial button in the upper right corner of the help screen. We do not need the tutorial because the system has not changed at all since Under a Killing Moon. And by the request of my buddy Jeff Hillary, who is probably my most devoted fan, and vice versa, of his Let's Play videos, I asked him as he was previewing Under a Killing Moon which path he'd like me to go through first. And he said, let's go with the Lombard Street, which is probably the most true to Tex's personality. So we will allow ourselves the freedom to lie, cheat, and steal, but we're going to try and do the right thing in the end. And now the opening cinematic.
Diego?
You know, I'm turning 30 tomorrow. Did you know that?
Well, happy birthday. You know, I was just thinking you don't look a day over 25.
Liar. I don't know. I've just been feeling very stuck lately. You know, I cannot remember the last time I was surprised by anything. Can you?
The last time I was surprised was by you. Well, you know what I mean. I'm just surprised that we're able to stay good friends.
I've been thinking about moving. Maybe Phoenix. I've got an old college friend that lives down there, and she says it's nice. I think the change would do me good. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you'll love it down there, because there's square dancing and 10-gallon hats and armadillo hunting.
And macho yokels with names like Tex.
Okay, that's yours.
So tell me, what do you think? You think I should go or not?
Well, you know, Arizona may seem like a much more exciting place than San Francisco, but it's dangerous down there. At least around here, you got your friends checking out for you.
It's dangerous everywhere. I mean, especially here. I mean, did you hear about that co-ed? Someone murdered her in her own bedroom.
I didn't hear about that. Who killed her?
Well, the newspaper said it might be a serial killer. They gave him some kind of crazy name. I don't know. I can't remember what they called him.
Well, doesn't that stuff scare you? I mean, I'm a tough guy, and it scares me.
I appreciate your concern, Tex, but I have been fine on my own for a long time. Looks like the rain's letting up. I'm going home.
Got a big date?
Oh, yeah. Cary Grant and a pint of Haagen-Dazs. Hold me down. See you later.
What a schmuck.
What?
Chelsea was giving you opportunities all evening and you blew every one of them. The son PI you are. Well, you wouldn't know a clue if it walked up and punched you in the face.
Listen, all I know is, every time I try and ask her out, she turns me down.
It's from the distinguished gentleman in the corner.
You bought me a drink?
He bought you a bourbon.
Oh, good evening, good evening. Gordon Fitzpatrick is my name. Please sit down, sir. You know, I am not in the habit of eavesdropping, but I do believe I heard someone say that you were a private detective.
That's right. I'm a licensed private investigator.
Oh, delightful. It's a pleasure indeed to meet you, and your name?
Murphy. Tex Murphy.
Tex Murphy. Well. This is fine. Now listen, let me ask you this, Mr. Tex Murphy. Have you in your work ever had the occasion to seek for a missing person?
Sure. I can do that.
Well, then perhaps we could do some business.
I think we can work something out. My office is just around the corner, the Ritz Hotel.
Why don't we go there? I like your office. Oh, yes, the ambiance is very authentic. Reminds me of those, those old detective stories that I used to watch when I was a kid. I'm sure that at any moment, Sam Spade is going to come marching through that door, but then who needs Sam Spade when I've got Tex Murphy standing in front of me? Did you always want to be a private eye?
As far back as I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
Would you have a seat, Mr.
Thank you.
Fitzpatrick? Yeah? While all the other kids were logged on to Sesame Street Interactive, I was reading Hammett and Chandler.
It must be quite an exciting life.
Oh, it's got its moments. Don't get me wrong, it's not like the movies. It sure as hell doesn't pay very well. But it suits me. So what can I do for you, Mr. Fitzpatrick?
Well, I'm trying to find an old acquaintance of mine, Thomas Malloy, Dr. Thomas Malloy. The last official address for him that I have is the Ritz Hotel. Now, do you happen to know him?
Can't say that I do.
Well, it's very important that I find him. You know, let me give you a little background. For many years, I was a research scientist and I worked alongside Dr. Malloy. But about 20 years ago, maybe, I guess something like that, our paths diverged and I lost touch with him, and he with me. And then very recently, I saw a photograph of him in a local newspaper. Now, it's a strange thing how time is such a natural equalizer, makes us appreciate the faces from one's past. At any rate, the older gentleman in that photograph is Dr. Malloy. And I contacted the newspaper to find out where the photograph had been taken. It was at the San Francisco Technical University. Well, I hiked right out there, got to the campus, and decided to look the man up and surprise him. Even with that photograph, no one recognized him, no one knew his name. But then I received a strange phone call by a young woman named Sandra. The man I knew as Thomas Malloy, she knew as Tyson Matthews. She seemed quite uncomfortable talking on the vid phone, so I suggested we meet. She never showed up for that appointment.
You never heard from her again?
You know, it's strange. But this simple, whimsical wish of mine to get together with my old friend has materialized into, I don't know, I feel a sense of impending doom. I fear for the young woman, and I fear for my friend, Dr. Malloy.
It sounds interesting. I think I can look into this for you.
Thank you. Now, you'll have to refresh my memory. How much is your fee? How does it work?
I charge $500 a day.
Of course.
Plus expenses.
Naturally. There, that should be enough to get you started. And here somewhere, there you go. I can be reached at that number.
I'll be in touch.
I feel we're off to a good start.
All right, Mr. Fitzpatrick. This is the first cash I've had in months. $4,000. I owe Louis $200, and Rook says I owe him $300. But there should be plenty left over. Yes, sir. Things are definitely looking up.
Wah, 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 wah.
Fitzpatrick didn't give me much to go on. Just the newspaper photo of Malloy and the fact that Malloy stayed here at the Ritz. And there's that girl Fitzpatrick referred to, Sandra. Maybe I can track her down. First I need to find out which apartment Malloy was staying in and then get into it. That means I gotta deal with Nilo, my landlord. It's the second week of April, and I'm a little late on my February rent payment.
Alright, well, you may have noticed that our digs have changed a bit. For one thing, we now have an actual bedroom rather than just a cot in the corner.
The downy fresh hub of my swinging bachelor pad.
And as I mentioned before, the interface is exactly the same.
Space Girl Doris. With your own form-fitting airsuit and come-hither smile, I still dream of you and a lunar landing.
Oh my. But, yeah. How about that opening movie, huh? The quality of the filming has definitely gotten better. And I think part of the credit for that can go to the fact that they have Adrian Carr directing the film bits now. No disrespect to Chris Jones, but you know, Adrian Carr is a gifted director of many years' experience, and you know, the movie bits are a little bit smoother this time around. And I think Chris Jones gives a much stronger performance as Tex this time around because he isn't having to focus on the direction and the story and everything else. But we'll take a quick look around Tex's new place.
Amazingly enough, this space-age cabinet came folded into a packet the size of a Triscuit. I'll pick up these clothes next time I'm expecting someone else in my bedroom. Yeah, fat chance of that. The guy who sold me this hormonotron said it would make women obsolete in my life, but I can't get it to work.
I don't know. I don't want to know.
This is the certificate and a copy of the check the Mutant League gave me after my last case. I used the cash to expand my office, buy some furniture, and pay off my debts. That left me with $4.12.
And that's actually a bit of a nod to the Under a Killing Moon novel, in which Tex does speak with the Mutant League and is recruited to help out a bit with saving the world. So for those of you who wondered about Tex not having anything to show for his efforts, he did get a little something. 10 grand in this case.
Soap on a rope. Grandpa Murphy buys this for all the grandkids every Christmas. This is where I shave my face once a month, come rain or shine.
Wait, we look at it and there's no reflection. Tex is a vampire!
Indoor plumbing is one of the many luxuries I try not to take for granted.
Yeah.
My parents found this in the attic and sent it to me. I remember the pastoral days of my early youth, riding on my trusty Mount Striper, chasing bank robbers and horse thieves. And all that came to an end one summer afternoon during an electrical storm. The lightning struck a transformer near our home, creating a tremendous power surge. It was after the accident that my brothers and sisters started calling me Tex. Whenever I asked them, they'd just laugh and wink at each other. I never did find out about that nickname.
And now you know the rest of the story. Good day.
This is where I keep the elixirs and potions that help me maintain my boyish good looks.
Oh, yeah?
This is where I keep the elixirs and potions. This is where I had to pick up this Playbub issue. Had an interview with my favorite author, what's his name? These are designer lights, as if there were any doubt. The nightstand. I really need to find some stuff to put in here.
Yeah, there's nothing in the nightstand that we need.
I really need... I'm currently reading The Maltese Fruitcake. family's been passing it around for years.
Nice little nod to Mean Streets there.
This is some sort of cool thing. It's a small miniature camel. I think that's a ceramic dog. I won this athletic supporter trophy in high school. I was the best third-string punter in the state. Amazingly, I made this horse out of a single coat hanger.
Alright, well that is Tex's bedroom in a nutshell.
That's the way back to my office.
So we have that.
This door connects to my rec room.
Yes, Tex has a rec room now. Not that's much of a rec room, mind you.
It's another beautiful night in the city I love. I call this painting Bleak Landscape. This is just a bunch of stuff. A stack of Perry Mason paperbacks and some other crap. I mean art. A handful of Agatha Christie novels and my secret Aladdin lamp. I'm not planning on dusting that baby until I'm ready to retire. This photo was taken at the last family reunion I attended. Has it really been 18 years? No matter how many lights I have in a room, there's always space for another lamp. This painting epitomizes my view of women as a gender.
Huh.
I'm gonna start using this thing just as soon as I get in shape. This barbell would provide a great workout if it weren't so darn heavy. This chair just didn't make the cut when I refurbished my office. A reproduction of Fish and Fruit by the mutant surrealistic Saul Dooley. It's one of my favorites. Bear in a trench coat.
The less said about that, the better.
This is a big photo of two horses. Why I have it and why it's actually hanging on my wall, I have no idea. I'm gonna start using it. Most of these computer components were purchased at a yard sale. The only one I've been able to get running is the little laptop on the shelf in front of the chair.
Should look at some of this to see. Well, I thought I could read that one.
I cut this article about Mac Malden out of the newspaper. Gives me a good chuckle. I cut this thing out of the paper a few days ago. I've known Mac Malden for years. We've worked together on several cases, but I don't know if we're actually friends. We just help each other out occasionally.
And as long as we're going through inventory.
So Fitzpatrick's staying at the Savoy. Guess I can call him on my vid phone if I need to talk with him. My trusty electronic shop credit card. The only way to go when you're out of cash.
Now, how Tex got this back when this originally got taken from him on the Moonchild before it got blown up, I've got no idea. Well, I guess he could have gotten a replacement card since then. And yeah, there's Mr. Malloy. And big pile of greenbacks.
Most of these... That's the only computer in the office that works.
And we can try turning it on, but without a CD, we can't really do anything with this computer. Still, it's there.
My favorite vase.
But that's all we can do in the rec room at the moment. And check out the office, which this has been changed a bit as well. We've now got a nice little block for the foyer and plants.
Nothing kills these plants, and I ought to know. Chandler Avenue recently got a city-funded cleanup. Now the street's darn near clean enough to eat off. With all that these chairs have gone through, I feel like I could write a testimonial to the makers of Scotchgard.
Best not thought about everything that he's done with those chairs.
This baby's brand new. I had to replace the old one after the, incident. Lord, what a horrible memory.
And note, paper cups.
My new vid phone is essential to my business. Thank goodness it's easy to operate. That's a New York Times bestseller, Men Are Imbeciles, Women Are Erratic. My mom sent this to help me with my love life. I've read the first chapter and I think the author's a hermaphrodite. Guilty as heck. The gripping saga of Lance Knight, the soft-boiled PI.
That's a fair point. They're always hard-boiled. There's never soft-boiled PIs.
One of these days, I'm gonna realize my dream of opening a spelunking shop in the Utah desert. Ritual virility is a guide to scoring with women. Step number 1, get rich. I borrowed this magazine on my last trip to the dentist. I've always been crazy for the Miracle Nails model. And my trusty lamp.
The trusty lamp, which looks like a trusty ashtray from up above.
I picked this book up at Rook's for $0.25. It's worth every penny. The scanner brings back some truly fond memories. Wonder how Trixie's doing. Rusty the Clown's Fun Book. The only pop-up book in existence with a must-be 18 years or older sticker. Eat the rich dog food. A little gamey, but not bad for the price. I've had this jackknife ever since my Weeblos days.
Alright, let's examine the
My
jackknife.
knife used to have all the cool attachments. Now everything's busted off except the pliers and the standard screwdriver head.
A tool is a tool.
This hot plate will come in handy if I eat anything other than saltines and dog food again. Taco Bob. It's got the most stylish placemats in town. The guy who sold me this said it just might be an unsigned Picasso. It better be, because I paid $30. Couple more cases and I'll have this thing paid for. Then I'll start paying off my student loans.
That sounds familiar.
Took me forever to get this diploma. I had to send in 100 proofs of purchase from True Detective. These drawers contain more worthless stuff than a Walmart bargain bin. The 60-day warranty just ran out on my electronic shop fax machine. Should break down any minute now. Between my wedding ring and this picture of my ex-wife Sylvia, I will never, ever forget that women are alien creatures capable of great destruction.
And speaking of pictures...
This picture was taken of my ex-wife on her 25th birthday. Yeah, she was gorgeous. Makes me wonder sometimes why we couldn't make it work.
Time to cut back on the high-quality bourbon, Tex.
No one sits in this chair but yours truly. Another bill from the electronics shop. I can't believe they expect me to pay for the junk they sell. Took me 3 days of hard work to empty this drawer out. These drawers are the holding area for stuff that's about to be tossed out in the trash. I really need another can of... Man, it's taken me years to fill up these drawers.
Of course, the steps are still there.
This office was a dance studio before I moved in. Nothing kills easy. This is the only pot I allow in my office. This is a breathtaking view of Saturn from the imaginary planet Alpha 19.
And check out the corner.
I got this from my grandpa, Audie Murphy. It was signed by Richie Havens. Grandpa said he was the original singing detective. I haven't played my phonograph since it destroyed the A-side on my Bill Shatner Sings the Blues LP. This painting always reminds me of something. I'm not sure what.
No idea.
I'm very choosy about what I keep in my hutch. The current selection shows off my sensitive, artistic side. The watercolor plate is a lovely reminder of my favorite high school art class. This wooden duck represents my ongoing commitment to wildlife preservation. These Gumby figures took 3rd place in my 7th grade sculpting class. I got this harmonica from a former client who said I'd need it someday. I'm not sure what he meant. That's my prize collection of triples. A collection of my favorite poetry books. Someday, I'm gonna read every single one of them. A collection of my favorite poetry books. This is an anatomically correct carving of my first pet, Barky. This little gem cost me 120 Llama cigarette coupons, but I think it's well worth it. This alien landscape reminds me of the old Star Trek episode where they get that distress call, then Captain Kirk meets that beautiful woman, then he and Spock barely escape, then Kirk makes that funny joke right at the end.
Because that was only one episode of classic Star Trek that could possibly be referring to. Alright, well, we have taken the grand tour of Texas' new place. And I think this is a good point to stop, and next time we will take the exit out of the apartment and check out the lower lobby and hopefully pay our rent off. We will see you next time.